What's good, guys? It's your boy Nico Talks Football, back with another video. I know it's been a long time, but I was out for a little bit. But we back today. I'm going to be talking about my thoughts after seeing Barcelona's preseason tour in South Korea. Obviously, they played 3 games in South Korea, and they played 1 at home for the Gamper. The 3 games in South Korea, they beat Vissel Kobe 3-1. They beat FC Swallow 7-3. They beat Daegu 5-0. And then for the Gamper, they beat Como 5-0. So very promising for FC Barcelona. I think they have a very bright season ahead of us. I think we can do a lot of good things. What I saw from the preseason, there were obviously a lot of good things, but also some stuff that had me worried. And I'm just going to be discussing that. So after watching the games, the positives that I took away was, first, Barcelona was able to score a lot of goals, and they're also able to create a lot of chances. I know this opposition isn't the best, and it's just some Japanese, South Korean teams and a mediocre Italian team, but Barcelona was able to score, and they were able to create a lot of chances, which is very good because that means they picked off right where they left off last season, where last season they were the best attack in Europe. They scored over 180 goals. So seeing that they were able to score that many goals again is very promising, and obviously it's going to be very important for the new season because obviously we're going to need a lot of goals, because on my next weakness, the defense is still not good enough for FC Barcelona. A lot of weaknesses are still in the, I would say, in the width, in the wide areas, because that's where most of the space is, obviously. But even the center backs were a bit shaking at times. Obviously, in the Seoul game, where we allowed 3 goals, that was not good enough. 3 goals, and 2 of them, I know some people might say one of them were offsides or anything, but 3 goals against that team isn't good enough. And the weakness that I see again is the high line, which Hansi Flick hasn't. He still is playing the high line, and we're still going to play the high line this year, which I don't know. It worked decently last season, but towards the end it wasn't very good. We're playing the high line again, and there are obviously a lot of weaknesses in the high line that I saw. Although the offsides was working, like in the first 10 minutes, I think for the Daegu and Como games, they were drawn offside 5 times in the first 10 minutes, which is very good. However, in the Como game, there was a lot of space in the wide areas, and that had me very worried. And in the Daegu game, in the Seoul game specifically, there was a lot of space in the wide areas, and that has me very worried because better teams are going to exploit that space. They're going to be able to watch the line and keep themselves on sides, which means they're going to have better chances. And just, I don't know, the high line is just going to have to be everyone's going to have to pay attention, and everyone's going to have to be focused because obviously we lost Inigo Martinez. Big loss, man. I'm very sad about that, but we lost Inigo Martinez, so that I don't know who's going to command that back line, but obviously someone's going to have to step up, and that back line is going to have to be very strong because this high line is very vulnerable at times. All right, another positive I saw, I would say the midfield. The midfield carried off right where it left off last season, obviously, with Pedri, De Jong. We saw Gavi, Fermin Lopez, Olmo, João Fernandes. What a baller, João. That midfield is so scary, bro. The amount of talent we have in there. And Casado. Don't forget about Casado. Pedri picked up right where he left off, bro. Best midfielder in the world. I'm seeing these conversations with Vitinha, and I just don't know how people can watch these games and think that Vitinha is a better footballer than Pedri, bro. Vitinha is so mid. Pedri is miles ahead of everyone else. Gavi. The way Gavi, we have to talk about Gavi because Gavi has come. Last season was obviously a little bit shaky because he came off the injury, but he is looking even better than he was pre-injury. Gavi's looking like himself again. In the preseason tour in Asia, he's finished with the most goals out of everybody with 3 goals, and they were bangers too. I mean, Gavi looks so good. Frankie De Jong, he obviously picked up where he left off. Looks very good. His pace through the midfield is good. His ability to carry the ball is good. The only thing I have with De Jong is he holds onto the ball a little bit too much. He's going to have to change that because I think Barcelona needs that quickness in the midfield. Obviously, I think De Jong's very good for controlling the game, just a little bit quicker on the ball. Fermin Lopez, oh my God, bro. This guy's such a baller, bro. Those 2 goals against Como were insane. And his whole, play, his technicality is so good. The way he carries the ball and his passing is good as well. I think Fermin is levels above Olmo. If Fermin's right now with the season, Fermin is obviously starting ahead of Olmo. Olmo, I wouldn't say he's dropped a little bit, but he's not where he needs to be. And Fermin is levels above Olmo, and Fermin is clear starting right now. He's levels above. We got to talk about Dro Fernandez, though. Dro, bro, this 18-year-old La Masia. La Masia just keeps on spamming these kids out of nowhere. I don't know where these kids come from. I don't know what they're feeding them. But these kids are insane talents, bro. Dro Fernandez, what a player. The way he's... Okay, when you see someone, specifically when you're watching the games, you see the way someone passes the ball, the way that someone dribbles, you can already tell that they're a baller. When I saw Dro, like the first 5 minutes I saw Dro, I was like, oh my god, this guy is insane. And the goal he scored in the first game against Vissel Kobe was very good. That guy's going to be a baller. I don't know how much minutes he's going to get because obviously we have Fermin Lopez, Olmo, Gavi, but I mean, he can come in whenever and really play well. The wingers, now we got to talk about the front line. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about the players later. Like, more dissectly into the players. For now, I'm going to talk into the front line briefly. We had Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and then Ferran Torres was starting, but Lewandowski was starting as well, and even Marcus Rashford was playing striker for a little bit too. That front line looks very, very good. I would only say a little bit shaky in the Vissel Kobe game and even in the Seoul game. Even though we scored a lot of goals, but that came mostly in the second half against Seoul. Very shaky in the Vissel Kobe game, I would say. Lamine Yamal looked off it. Rafinha was having a mid-game, but towards the second game, and then by the time they hit Dago and Como, that attack is so good, man. I can't with that attack. So that's where the strengths, I would say, overall was the attack, obviously near the end. The midfield throughout the whole preseason and Como game was insane. The defense was the weakness, though, as it was last season. So the defense is the big weakness. And the strength, another strength, we have a lot of depth. In the defensive areas, we have good depth as well. But in the midfield, we have so many players. So even if one gets injured, and don't forget, Marc Bernal is coming back too. Even if one gets injured, even if we need rest, we have so many options in the midfield. It's just... In the attack, too, we have so many options, too. Adding Rooney, Rashford. We have Lewandowski, Ferran. Just so many options. That's a big strength. We have so much depth this year, and that's good. Okay, now I'm going to briefly discuss each game that we played, starting off with the first game against Vissel Kobe. I think that game was a little bit... We started a little bit off it, but... I mean, first game back after, 3 months out. Obviously, we weren't going to be at our best, but I thought first half, we were obviously controlling the game, but there wasn't that output that I wanted to see or from Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, especially from the front line. I thought the midfield was very good in that Vissel Kobe game. Pedri, De Jong, and Fermin Lopez, I think, or Olmo, were very good in that first game. I think the midfield was very good. The defense was obviously good. I don't think they had trouble, really. But the attack was the main problem. Although the attack did score some goals, that was mostly in the second half when Rooney scored and Dro scored. So, halftime, it was actually 1-1. So, we went into that halftime 1-1 against Vissel Kobe. So, obviously not the best start, but I thought overall for a first game, it wasn't bad. Overall, and then we got to talk about the second half, where I think the second team even played better than the first team. Obviously, we saw the likes of Dro, Jofre Torrens was in there. I think Eric Garcia was in there. Then Olmo Lewa was in there. Rashford, and then Rooney was in there. So, obviously, Rooney scored a goal, and then Dro scored a great goal. So, in that second half, we saw a little bit better from the second team. But overall, I was pretty impressed. Obviously, seeing Barcelona back brought a big smile to my face. Next, we go on to the second game against FC Seoul. This game, the attack was much better this game. Lamine Yamal scored 2 goals. Who else scored? I think it was... Gavi scored in this game, I'm pretty sure. I didn't even remember who scored, but a lot of goals came in that first half. I think we went into the first half 3-0. No. Went to that first half like 3-2 or something. I don't even remember. This is like a week back. I don't know. Bro, I'm making this video like a week later. We went into halftime like 3-2 though. So obviously the worrying sign is that we conceded 2 goals against that team. And I don't know if the second goal might have been offsides, but obviously it's not good to be conceding 2 goals against a lower side South Korean team. So that was honestly worrying, but the attack was much better in there. The midfield was the same, and then the defense obviously wasn't good enough. Then came the second half where the second team came in again. And the second team, again, was better than the first team, which, honestly, that's so good to see because we know the first team is obviously the best team, but to see that the second team is competing with the first team and to see all these talents that are coming in and they're just as good as the first team is so good because it proves all the depth that Barcelona has. So the second team played very well. They scored like 4 goals in that game. Gavi got a good goal that I can remember. So obviously Barcelona in that game, they put on 7 goals, which is obviously, we talked about it earlier, a big strength. For Barcelona to be scoring 7 goals is very good and promising signs for the season coming up. Next game we had FC Dagu. This game was very good. I must say the defense in this game did hold it down, although obviously with the high line there's always going to be chances for the opposition, but I thought they did very good. Obviously a clean sheet, can't complain. And then in this game it was different. The first team, in the attack of the first team, actually scored the majority of the goals. 4-0 in that game, first half 4-0. So the first team did its role. It scored 4 goals in the first half. I thought they played very well. The midfield obviously was good, and then the attack finally was cooking. I thought Rafinha in this game was much better. I thought Lamine Yamal in this game was insane, bro. He had like 7 or 8 dribbles, bro. I thought I was watching Messi. The way Lamine Yamal was moving, bro. He's so good, bro. Shout out to all the people who were on him after that first game when he played so bad. After that first game, everyone was like, "Oh, Lamine Yamal, he's partying too much. The partying is getting him. He's not focused." Bro, never doubt Lamine Yamal. This guy's the best player in the world right now. He was so good in that game, and then Ferran, when he played in that game, was good. Lewa was good in that game. I thought the front line was so much better in that game. Then we move on to the Como game. This was prime Barcelona for me. Although the first 5 minutes were very worrying with the high line. Como was actually dominating for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Como was the better side. There were chances in behind, although majority of them were offside. There were chances in behind, and Como looked very threatening in the first 5 to 10 minutes. After that, though, Barcelona, they controlled the game more. Their possession was better, and then once Barcelona got the first goal, it was just on from there. It was domination after domination. Fermin Lopez with 2 insane goals. The first goal was great finish into the bottom corner. It kind of sliced off his foot, but still a good finish. And then the second goal, bro, the way he curled that ball, phenomenal. Fermin Lopez is going to be so good this season. And then we finally saw Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Rashford. That attack honestly was good. Although I think Ferran Torres should start because he hasn't done anything wrong not to earn a starting position. I think Rashford, you put him in as a sub first, and then we could see how we start, if we can put him in a starting position if he deserves it. I thought that front line was very good though, especially for the last 30 minutes. The first 15 minutes, Rashford didn't really play well. But after that, the last 30 minutes, Rafinha and Rashford and Lamine Yamal were so good, man. Rafinha's pressing, he picked up right where he left off. That pressing, he's the best presser, winging. He's the best winger that can press in Europe. You watch any other winger in Europe, no one presses like Rafinha. He's such a joy to have on my team, on Barcelona. My team, but it's not my team. Lamine Yamal, the skills, but although he doesn't press like Rafinha, he has the skills that this guy has. He was cooking Alex Valle, obviously is a former Barcelona player. He made the move to Como. Bro, Lamine Yamal was cooking this guy so hard, bro. Lamine Yamal, oh my God, this guy is just so good, bro. And then Rashford, obviously he was making some good runs. And then finally the goal started to click on. Rafinha scored the third, and then Lamine Yamal scored 2 after that. The fourth one was good. Rafinha pressing, gifted the ball to Lamine Yamal for a tap-in. And then that 5th goal, the finish from Lamine Yamal, that curling finish that we saw at the end of last season, like him curling the finishes, but now that's his signature finish. I need to see more of that this year because his finishing looks to have improved. If Lamine Yamal can hit that finishing more in the positions he gets, he's going to have 30-plus goals this year. It's going to be insane. And then in that second half, nothing much was happening. Obviously, the game was already wrapped up, but it was very well to see. Although I would say that midfield, I don't know why, I thought that first 10 to 15 minutes specifically, De Jong and Pedri looked very open. I don't know what it was, but the midfield looked very open, and I didn't like the way it was because Como was really exploiting the space in the midfield. It was very worrying, but obviously on the ball, I thought De Jong and Pedri were both sensational. The back line, obviously worrying with the high line, but it did its job. Drew 5 or 6 offsides in like the first 20 minutes. So the high line was very good in the end. In the defense, I can't complain. Alright, now I'm going to be discussing like every player's performance after the preseason tour. I'm going to give them like overall my thoughts on every player. Starting with Joan Garcia in goal. I thought very solid from Joan Garcia. Obviously didn't face a lot of shots, but I thought he did very well, specifically towards the Dago and Como game. He was some really good saves from Joan Garcia, so exciting to see a new goalkeeper. Back line, we start with Kubarsi. Pau Kubarsi. I thought Pau Kubarsi was solid. Some mistakes here and there, but overall, I don't think he was too bad. I thought he's gonna be good this season, obviously. I think he's gonna be our best center back. That leader, he's gonna take the number 5. He's gonna be our leader in the back this year. He has to be. So good overall from Pau Kubarsi, where he left off. Now we move on to Inigo Martinez. Damn, bro. Alright, I'm just going to talk about the first game. He was solid, bro, but unfortunately, Inigo Martinez has left Football Club Barcelona. Very sad, but... Alright, on to Ronald Araujo now. I thought Araujo was solid. I'll be honest, I can't really make assumptions because these are the first couple games. The opponents aren't very good, but overall, he's solid. We all know Araujo is very good with these... He's going to be good in La Liga. He's going to be good in the Copa del Rey. He's gonna give great performances, but where we need him is in the Champions League, and I don't know if he's gonna step up. So overall, from Araujo, very good, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to really step up in the Champions League later on in the season. We'll see. Alejandro Balde, bro, I'm very excited for Alejandro Balde. If he can stay fit the whole season, he's gonna be up there with Nuno Mendes as the best left back in the world. It's just seeing Gerard Martin at the last stages of the season last year, and now we get to see Balde back. It's just seeing his combination play with Rafinha is really... It's just so nice to see Balde when he makes those runs out the midfield. Very good from Balde. Now on the right back area, Koundé and Eric Garcia. I'll start with Koundé. I thought Koundé was solid. I'll be honest. I wasn't really paying attention to Koundé that much, but he didn't do anything wrong, so if he did anything wrong, I would obviously come to my head. He played good overall. And then Eric Garcia. I would say, though, I think Koundé should be starting. We saw the last 2 games he started Eric Garcia ahead of Koundé. Koundé should be the starting right back for the first game of the season against Mallorca. I don't think Koundé has done anything wrong for Eric Garcia to be ahead of him. I think Koundé deserves to start, and he's done nothing wrong, so I think Koundé, he needs to start the first game. He's very good. Eric Garcia now. Eric Garcia, I must say, Eric Garcia he's going to compete with Koundé. Eric Garcia on the ball, I would say he's a little bit better than Koundé on the ball. Obviously his defense wasn't really tested against these teams, but he's very good defensively too. But I would say what impressed me most is his passing out the back and his just composure on the ball. Eric Garcia is a very good player, and he's improving, I think, every game. It's going to be so good to see Eric Garcia and Koundé, because with the loss of Inigo Martinez, we can even play Koundé as a center back, because remember, Koundé's natural position is a center back. So you can play Koundé as center back and then play Eric at right back and then all that. Also at center back, Christensen. We also saw Christensen. I must say, Christensen is so good, man. I just need him to stay fit. He is so good. The way he passes out the back, and then he's obviously very tall. He's very good defensively. Very good from Christensen. And then Gerard Martin and Jofre Torrens. We'll get into Gerard Martin first. Gerard Martin played left back, but he also played center back. With these teams, Gerard Martin looks like a good left back. I'm not really a big fan of Gerard Martin. I personally don't think he should be playing for Barcelona, but I mean, he played well. He was some passes, bro. He was making some good passes, Gerard Martin. Now we move on to Jofre Torrens, the La Masia wonder kid. 18 or 19 years old. He is a very good player. I was very impressed when he came on against Vissel Kobe. He was putting in some very good performances in preseason. Obviously, if Balde or Gerard Martin goes down, he can step up. He's going to be very good. Now we go on to the midfield. A lot of midfielders, bro. Obviously, we didn't see Marc Bernal yet. I'll get on to Pedri and De Jong. I already mentioned them. They were amazing. Obviously, they're going to be great. Gavi, I mentioned Gavi already. He's going to be phenomenal. Casado, I thought Casado was good. I mean, we could still use Casado. There's talks of selling Casado. Absolutely not. We should not sell Casado. If there's anyone who we should sell, it should be De Jong. Although he's one of the best midfielders, we get a very good price out of De Jong, and his salary is through the roof. He's got one of the highest paying salaries at the club. So I think if we were to get rid of anyone, it would be De Jong. Keep Casado. We're going to need Casado. Trust me, this midfield is injury prone. We're going to need Casado. Fermin Lopez, very good as I saw. Fermin Lopez is going to be wonderful this season. Olmo, he has dropped off a little bit, as I said earlier. Olmo, for me, not impressive. He is not proving worth the 60 million euros that we paid for him. I don't know. It's just, I'm not a big fan of Olmo, to be honest. I don't know. He's very talented, but I just don't see enough production. Then we get on to Dro. I thought Dro was very good. Obviously, talent from La Masia. Dro coming in as an 18-year-old, 17-year-old. He was sensational for the first goal he scored in that game against Vissel Kobe, and then he followed up with some great performances. He is so techy, bro. He's so good. Is that up for the midfield? I think that's it for the midfield. Moving on to the attacking line, we had Rooney, Bargi, Lamine Yamal, Robert Lewa, we had Ferran Torres, Rashford, and Rafinha. And then Tony Fernandez and some people like that. But let's just start with Tony Fernandez. I thought Tony Fernandez was decent. He's obviously still young. He's going to get opportunities. Lamine Yamal, we'll just throw out Lamine Yamal real quick. He's sensational. He's the best player in the world. Nothing to say about Lamine Yamal. Picked off right where he left off last season. Even better, in my opinion, the dribbles. The way he can just glide past players is crazy. And his finishing looks even better. Rooney. I thought Rooney was promising. Scored a good goal in that first game against Vissel Kobe. I mean, I'm not really going to judge Rooney off. I thought he's good so far, but we're going to have to see him in those higher stake game, La Liga games. Ferran Torres, I thought Ferran was very good, scoring some good goals against Dagu. He scored a brace against Dagu, so Ferran's just, he's a good player, man. We're going to need Ferran Torres. Robert Lewa. Lewa, man. Do I think Lewa should be sold? Yes. But where his performance is good, I thought his performances are actually pretty good. I mean, this isn't really opposition, though. We all know Lewa's going to score goals, but he's just at that age. He's not going to be able to provide like Marcus Rashford or Ferran even. Moving on to Marcus Rashford, I thought he was very good. Promising signs, but also, I mean, everyone wants Marcus Rashford to succeed, but I'm really not. I see other Barcelona analysts saying, oh my god, Marcus Rashford looks so good. He's going to be the best. He's going to score over 30 goals. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I can't really judge Marcus Rashford. Was he good? Yes. But I need to see this against higher opposition. And I'm be honest, he was okay. Like, let's not gas Marcus Rashford up and say he's like the level of like a Leao or Lookman or even Nico Williams. Like, we still have to see more from Marcus Rashford. Then move on to the left wing. I think this last player, Rafinha. I thought Rafinha was very good. Obviously, the first game was a little bit slow. He picked up his rhythm, though. By the time that third game and by the time the Como game hit, he got the braids back. Back to the Rafinha we're used to seeing from last season. Not a one-season wonder. He's so good in possession, man. His passing is... I'll be honest. I know Lamine Yamal puts these great passes in, but when I see the way Rafinha passes, like the way he passes the ball, the pace he puts on the ball, and the accuracy, like... Okay, so Lamine Yamal might be like a better long-range passer, but when you want someone to like crossing ability or just to find midfielders in pockets, Rafinha does it better than anyone. And then his dribbling was ever very good, and then his runs from behind are so good, man. So overall from the team, I'm very excited for this first game against Mallorca, bro. We're actually back, bro. I can't believe it. This is going to be such a good season, man. I mean, I can't really judge, but even if we have a mediocre season, watching Barcelona back is the greatest thing I can ask for. This team is so good, so I'm very promising signs. We're going to see what's going to happen in that first game against Mallorca. Stay tuned. A preview is coming for that game and just more. I might even go live. First live stream might be during that game. We'll see. Watch along maybe. Guys, just tune in. A lot of good content coming up. The season is back. So thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Nico out.